Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to create a WordPress theme from scratch. So, no further ado, let's begin. Now, before starting the real deal, let me introduce myself. Well, I'm Rabiul Islam and I'm working with WordPress for near about 10 years now. I have worked on several WordPress companies. Currently, I'm working in Articamp, which is a WordPress VIP code agency partner. Alright, enough talking about myself for now. Let's begin the show. As I said earlier, we are going to create a WordPress theme from scratch by following an HTML template design, and we are going to use this template that I have downloaded from bootstrapme.com. There will be no copyright issues as we are using this only for the learning purposes. Now let's discuss what the WordPress theme is all about. Well, WordPress theme is a way to make your static website dynamic and content manageable. It helps you to make things better and keep things organized and simple. Now, WordPress can be easily misleading to you. Make no mistake, the main purpose of WordPress was to create a blog platform, and it is the same as of now. But we can make things better. We can create anything with WordPress now, from personal blogs to e-commerce website and in between anything imaginable, with the help of some integrated tools which are called plugins. For example, if we want to create an e-commerce theme, then we can use WooCommerce plugin to make our theme e-commerce ready. Similarly, if we want to create any agency or personal custom design website rather than a blog, we can take advantage of using any page builder plugin like Elementor. Also, we can use the Gutenberg as well, but I guess for Gutenberg we need some advanced knowledge as well. For this time, we will create our project by using the core WordPress theme development process and the use of Elementor page builder as well. So, the video will be divided into two final parts. In the first one, we will create the base WordPress theme functionalities, and then we will finish it up with Elementor page builder by creating custom designs widgets. So, bear with me, we are gonna learn a lot. Hey guys, welcome to the episode number 1. In this episode, we are going to show you how you can structure your theme, or what are the files you need to create a WordPress theme. And let me show you my setup environment. So I'm using local by Flywheel for my WordPress setup, and you can see I'm using the WordPress version 5.9, which is the latest as of now, and the PHP version is 7.3.5, MySQL is 8.0.16. so this is my setup. You can use XAMPP or WAMP or whatever you prefer to install the WordPress, but I recommend this local by Flywheel, which is very easy and straightforward to use. And the next thing is I'm using this VS Code editor. I believe this is the best editor you can have for developing PHP or any JavaScript projects, or anything as you like, but you can use whatever you want to do. And all the codes obviously I will put into the GitHub, so you can get the access of the code easily. Alright, so let's start the main thing. To make a WordPress thing work, we basically need 3 files. The first one is surprisingly style.css, and the next thing is index.php, and another will be the functions.php. Okay, believe it or not, you just need 3 files, these 3 files, to make a WordPress theme. But obviously this is not the end of the world. We need to do some more things to make a robust WordPress theme. So let's see what we can add into the style.css. Well, the style.css, at the top you need to add some comments to make this theme or to tell the WordPress that this is a theme. So the first thing, we need to use the theme name, and the theme name we are going to give the hero bees. Theme URI, so we can do, let's say, whatever the theme URL can be. Then we need to add the author, and then the author URI. You can do anything you want. Then the description, you can say the theme description here, and then we also need the version, so version will be 1.0.0, and then we can have the text domain, and the text domain would be hero biz, and then we can use a license as well. So we can add any license like GNU version 3 or later. All right, so this will tell the WordPress that this is a WordPress theme. Now if you want to check it out, let's open the admin area, and if we just refresh, we should see a broken theme or maybe a theme. Yeah, you can see this is the hero biz. So if we click on this, see it is saying that it is creating by the author name, and the theme description is here, and the version is not coming. But if you click on others, there is the version. So I think we have misspelled it. So now if we refresh and click on it, so you can see the version number as well. So this is how you can just create a style.css and add some necessary comments here, and you can tell the WordPress, well, this is a WordPress theme. Now obviously we have this index.php and this functions.php, which are totally blank, and that is fine for now. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is what are the the standard files that is required to create a WordPress theme. So let's begin with those. So the first file I'm going to create is actually the header.php. So the header.php, we will keep the header portion of the theme into this header.php, and then we're going to include this into the index.php. In that way we can keep things separate and organized. And the next thing would be footer.php. Similar things for this footer.php as well. We will keep the footer things like the scripts and the other things that gonna load into the footer, and the other stuffs if you want to add into the footer.php, and we're gonna include that footer.php into the index.php as well. All right, now the next thing we can add, like let's say 404.php. Now what this file will do, this will handle the not found content or fallback of any search that is not finding any content. Then it will fall back into this 404.php. And the next thing we can add is, let's say, page.php. So this page.php will be responsible for showing any individual pages, like whatever pages you add into the WordPress site, this page.php will dynamically handle everything related to the page. Next we can use this single.php. And the single.php will be responsible to show your single blog post that you are gonna load into the index.php. Obviously we haven't talked about the index.php. This index.php is the main home place for the WordPress. That means it's gonna load your all the blog post into the index.php, and when you load this in those into the index.php, and if you click on any of the single post, then it will go into the single.php. Obviously I'm going through it like verbally, but we will see this in action when we go with the theme. Now the next thing you need is archive.php. Well, this archive.php is responsible to show all the archive posts, like the category posts or the date wise post or the authors post or any other archive related post that you can impose into the WordPress. You will be able to see with the archives.php. Now the next thing, let's add another thing, which is, I guess, sidebar.php. So this sidebar.php is responsible if we let's enable a theme. Okay, so this is already enabled. Let me check is there is any sidebar or not. Let's go this. So by the way, this is the latest WordPress theme that has been shipping with the WordPress, but it doesn't have any sidebar. But let me tell you what the sidebar is actually. The sidebar is actually staying aside of your website, like it can be into the right side or into the left side besides your content. So if you want to show that part with a file, then you can need this sidebar.php. And then we actually need comments.php. This file will handle your commenting section, like if you want to modify your commenting layout or any other things, you can do with this comments.php. And the next thing we are gonna add is search.php. So this template will be responsible if your theme has any searching functionalities. Then if you want to show those things into a page, then you can use this search.php as well. Now this functions.php I haven't explained it. So this function.php you can say as the core of your WordPress theme, where you can add your logical functionalities into the functions.php. So the theme will first run through this file, and it runs through its logics, and then it builds up your theme. Now I'm gonna create another folder which I will call include, and inside that I will create two files. The first one will be template functions.php, and the second one will be template tags.php. Now these two files I have created, it's not actually necessary with the theme, but because we are going to create a complete theme, so that I will make those things more organized. So these two files will help us to create some template related functions that we are gonna use throughout the theme, and also some template tags logical functions. If we need, then we can keep it into this template tags.php to use those things throughout the theme. Now at this point of time, I'm going to add the first commit of our code, and that is initial folder structure. Into the next, we are going to start working with footer, header, and index.php. Alright, let's start with index, header, and footer.php. Let's open the header.php and add some code in here. And inside there, we're gonna close the PHP content, and let's add the doc type, and the doc type will be HTML. And then let's open the HTML tag, and let's close the HTML tag here. Then we're gonna open the head tag, and obviously gonna need to close the head tag like so. And let's start a body tag as well. and obviously gonna need to close that body tag. Alright, so inside the head tag we're gonna add two meta tags actually, and the first one is character set, and the next one will be we need to add the name, and the name will be viewport, and the content will be width, device width, that is only we're going to use this for the responsiveness, and the initial scale will be 1. So that is for the responsiveness. Alright, so this is actually the structure of a HTML page, and in between the body we can have all the other stuffs. Now let's cut this off and open our footer.php, open the php tag and add the comment contents footer and close it, and let's paste it here. So this is the bare bones structure, but we haven't added or implemented anything about the WordPress. Now what we can do, we can open this index.php and let's some comment, or let's keep it blank for now. And here, to bring those headers and footer, what we can do get header, and we need to open the php tag, otherwise it will not work, and get footer. So what these two functions will do in WordPress, that this get header will bring up this header.php, and this get footer will bring up this footer.php. Now let's go back, and I already activated our theme. Now if we refresh the page, we will see nothing, but if we go into the page source, we will see this has been added through header and footer. Now let's go back and open the header.php. Now there are a lot of things we need to do, or some things we need to do actually, to make it more WordPress friendly. So at first we need to pass a function inside here. So we will call the language attribute method, and let's keep it like this. Now what this will do, this will add the language attribute methods for HTML. I think we remove the L. So now if we go and hit a refresh, you can see this lang enus that has been added through that function, so which is necessary for the search engine to know the language version. Now the next thing we're going to add into this character set. Now you can see this meta character set is blank, so if we go here and add another function, blog info, and inside that we're gonna need to send the parameter which is character set. Now if we hit refresh, this will say that UTF-8. So this is the meta character set version. Now the next thing we're gonna need, which is the most important thing for the header file, is to call a WordPress hook, and which is WP head. Just remove this. Now by calling this function, let's see what happens here. See, there are a lot of things has been brought in by the WordPress, which is required to handle through the WordPress. So that is very important to remember. Now into the body class, if I go back into the source, this body is totally blank. Now there is another thing we need to do here. We need to add a class here, and which is body class. So if we do that and hit refresh, we'll see WordPress gonna add its some default classes here. Alright, now if we refresh into the front, still we are not seeing anything. Now let's go back to the code editor and head over to the footer.php. Now inside the footer.php we also need to call a hook, and the hook name is wp footer. So through that, let's check it out again. So this is the body class, this is the HTML. Now if we refresh, we'll see a lot of scripts has been added by the WordPress. And now if we hit refresh, we can also see the admin bar as well. Now let's go into the index.php, and as I said earlier, this index.php is the main fallback file for the WordPress, where WordPress actually loads is blog content. So for that we actually need to run through a loop. So let's first check, and the function is have posts. So if we have the post, then we can indif. Now this is a shorthand of of PHP, and inside that indif we can run the while loop. So while have posts, and also we can end while, then we are running the main of post function, and inside here we can do our stubs. So later we will add our more things here. So for now I think it's good enough to understand that how the header, footer and the index works together. And with this we can add our second commit, that is adding header, footer and index.php. Alright, let's start working with the WordPress post loop. Alright, so as you can see into the index.php, so inside this is the post loop, and inside the while loop the main post function is running, and inside that we are using this get template part function which WordPress provides, and this is actually to add the files inside the theme, and it actually takes one parameter, actually couple of parameters, but the first parameter is actually the mandatory. So here we are using this template parts post and this content.php file. Now we do not need to add the extension because this function will handle that out. Now I have already added this template parts folder and the post folder. Inside that we have this content.php. So let's open this content.php, and inside I have added some things so that I can explain it faster and I do not need to write it. So the first thing, as you can see, we are using this article tag, and inside that we are adding an ID. So this did is the function to add or to print out the ID of that current post. Now after that we have this header portion. So there is a CSS class for the entry header, and with the title function we actually can print out the title alongside with the link of that post. So it will actually take two parameters. The first one is the starting or starting DOM of the link, and the second one is the closing tags. So you can see the anchor tag and the h2 tag is finishing out. So inside that we have this anchor tag, and inside this href or attribute we are using the link. So to print out the link we are using this esc url, which is the escaping url function for WordPress, and this get permalink will print out the current loops post URL. Now after that we have this post thumbnail. So if the post has any thumbnail attached to it, so we are checking with the has post thumbnail. So it will check if the post thumbnail has any thumbnail, then it will print out the post thumbnail function. And this post thumbnail function is actually taking some parameters, and the first one is actually the size of the image. So we know WordPress actually provides full, large and medium. These image sizes by default, but you can always use your custom size as well. So for now we are gonna use this large image size. Now at the end we are using this we are trying to printing out the contents. So because we are into the index page and we do not want to print the full content of the page, so we are using the except, which actually print out the portion of the page, the portion of the content. So now this is the layout. So if I hit the refresh, you can see the title, the image and the content is coming as well. Now let's open the code editor and open this single.php. All right, so this single.php is totally blank now. If we go into the front end and try to go any single post, then you will see this is totally blank because our single.php has nothing. So if I go and add some string here, you will see sure enough that string is printing. Now let's add a tag, php tag here, add a necessary comment, like so, and let's add the get header hook here, close the php tag and open it again, get footer here, and inside that we're going to add some DOM. So the DOM will be, and the class name will be content area. We're gonna add another DOM, so the ID will be main and the class will be site main. All right, so inside that we're gonna use the content loop with the while loop, and if have posts, then obviously we have the post, and then we can end while. Right, now inside that the single post content will be coming. Let me show you. If I just do the content, so if I hit refresh, so the content of this page is coming. Now if I go in some other page, so that page content is coming. So our single page is started working, but we're not gonna do things like that. We're gonna use get template part, and we do not need those things. We just need to tell the path that the partial file we're gonna use, post and the content. Now you might be wondering why we're using the same file as like this index page, because we are going to use this content.php for everything, like for the single page, for the index page and for the archive page conditionally, so that we can get advantage of, you know, single page, managing the single page to show the content everywhere. That would be easy for us to handle. All right, now here some more things we're gonna need is for the commenting. So if comments are open, then we can show the comments template. So for that, let's check it first if comments are actually open. So if the comments are open, or get comments number, that means minimum if it has one comment, then we can call the comments template. So in that way we can show the list of comments. Now there's another thing we need to add, because it's a single page, we might use the sidebar. So for that we can call the get sidebar. Obviously there is nothing in the sidebar. Now this get sidebar function will actually call the sidebar.php, which is totally blank. But if I add something here, that from sidebar, then now if we go into front end and let's just hit refresh this one, you will see after the content you will see from sidebar is coming. So that means at the very last the sidebar.php is actually loading. Now from where this content is coming, you can actually guess, because we are using this content.php. that's why whatever it is printing now, it is showing into the single.php. so this is pretty similar to printing this post into the index and this post into the single, because everything is similar. But in the single page, obviously we are not gonna print like the shorter form of showing into the index.php, right? So what we will do, let's go back into the editor and open the content.php. so here we are just showing the title with the anchor tag. But what you can do here, we can check if is singular. If is singular, meaning if it is a single page, then what we will do, we'll say the title, and inside the title we will say h1 class title, and we're just closing it with the h1. Sorry. All right, else we're gonna do this, and we can do like indif. So what we're doing here is, if it is a single page or the singular, then we're just printing the title with the h1 tag. But if it is not, rather other than the single page, then we are going to show it with the h2 tag and with the anchor tag as well. So now into the index page it should remain the same, but into the home page, sorry, the single page, or this not this one, maybe this one, if we hit the refresh, you can see the title is not linkable. And if we inspect it, you can see this is with the h1, and if we inspect it, you can see this is with the h2 and the anchor link is attached. Now let's go back and do some other things for the other parts. Now you can also add the condition for the post thumbnail, like for in the single page you might show the full image, or into the index page you might show the different size of image. But let's keep it like this. We can deal it later with our requirements, because we do not know what are the designs, because we haven't implemented the main design yet. We are just building the basic things of the theme. But we can adjust to this part of code, because in the single page we actually want to show the larger content. So let's check if we are in home. So if is home or is archive, then we actually want to show the shorter format, right? So for that part, we can wrap it up. So else if it is the singular file or is single, then actually we want to show it a bit larger. So let's end if here, just copy the DOM, right, and here we're gonna print the content. Now let's go back into the front end and hit refresh to see what are the changes. So if we hit refresh, you can see after this is the main thumbnail image, then the other contents is actually coming. Now if we go into the main index page, hit refresh, you will see nothing is changed, everything is coming conditionally. So that means, let's just close this too. That means if we see for the second post, there's title, image and the excerpt content for the index page, but if we click on this link and go to its single page, you will see the title is in H1 format, then the thumbnail image, and then all the other contents is coming, and then after this sidebar is showing. Now we actually need to add some additional thing to complete this single page, is this one, WP link page, and this is the before DOM and this is after DOM. Now what this will do, if you use the WordPress, you will know that in the WordPress you can use the page break to break down the page content with the pagination. So for that we're gonna use this WP link pages. So if we do that kind of a thing into your editor, then you will be able to navigate through those page portions. Now let's go back into the editor and open page.php. Now obviously it is totally blank, and if we go back to the admin panel and try to open any page, obviously it will be totally blank. And if I try to print something from here, sure enough it is showing that is string. So let's implement this page.php. So adding the necessary comments here, and add the get header hook, and at the bottom add the get footer hook, and inside here we will add some DOMs like so, and inside that we will have our loop to print out the page. So we can use this while loop, while have posts, then the post, and while. Now similarly we will use get template part function here. This time we will have template parts, and then we'll have this page folder, and then we'll use content, and the second parameter will be the page. Now the second portion is actually let me show you. So it will grab this kind of a files. So the second part is always the part after the hyphen. So if we create this content.php, then it will understand in that way. So let's create those files, and the directory structure, let's add page, and inside that let's add content-page.php. Now let's try to print something from here. So we can say content page, and it is already added. So let's open and hit refresh, so you can see the admin bar is showing and we have this content page string as well. Now there's some more things we need to do here because it's a page, so obviously we will be able to add the comments if it is allowed. So this is the the normal functionalities of the WordPress, so we need to do that. So inside the end while, we can paste it out here, and of course if we want, we actually can add this sidebar as well, so let's just keep that here. Now let's go back into the content.php and try to implement that one as well. So adding the necessary comments here, and this will be the partial part of page.php, so we can say or add some DOM here, and here we will add the post id, right? Let's expand it, and here at the top we will display the title, and inside that it will take some parameters, so the parameter will be the actually DOM, entry title, and the finishing parameter will be the closing h1 tag. Now the next part will be for the page thumbnail or post thumbnail, basically the page thumbnail if you upload it, because page has the option to add the thumbnail. So similar way, if I go to the content, the content, but this, where is it? Okay, this one. So we just copy this and paste it here. So here we can use the full image if we want to have the larger image. Now for the content part, let's add some DOM here, and here we'll have the content function to print out the whole content, and obviously if the content has multiple portion of the page, we need this to implement. So let's copy and paste it here, add a tab, and let's check that out first. So let's go and hit a refresh, so you can see the content has came here because this page has this much of content, and also the sidebar is coming. Now I want to implement another thing. Let me add that code first. So this is the not this one, so this is the entry content, and after that I have added this part of code. I believe I have okay, missed condition. Let's end this. All right, so let me show you what this code is actually do, then I will explain to you. So see, this is the content, this is the sidebar. Now if I hit refresh, you will see there is an edit link coming. Now if I click on that, it will take me to the edit option of this page. Now this is a very good thing to use, because when you are logged in, only then this link will show up. So it gives the user an extra facility to edit the thing if he want from the similar page. Obviously there's edit link, but still this is the way you can add some helpness into the theme. So what, let me explain to this now. So what this is doing, it is checking if get edit post link, so it's checking the ability, and then we will call this edit post link, and inside that we're using this is printf, and inside this printf, through this we are actually using the wp KSES, which is actually a function to it will allow you to just certain elements that you can only allow. So in that case we are passing the DOM here, and because we are using this span tag, that's why into the next array we need to specify the tag and whatever attributes we are passing. In that way it will filter out and just show the DOM, and then into this placeholder we are getting the title link, so that it will take that particular edit link of the post. So this is what actually do, this is basically gives us a edit link to that particular page. Let's start implementing archive.php. Now before starting with archive.php, I want to explain to you about the template hierarchy of the WordPress. So let's go into wphierarchy.com. Even you can go into this address, like developer.wordpress.org themes basics templates hierarchy, then you will find this link, which is very helpful for any developer to learn about the template hierarchy of WordPress, and it is very interactive. So as you can see here, it's a visualized graph for you. So if we want to create archive page, and there are several types of archive page you can find in WordPress, like author archive, meaning the post of any specific authors, category archive, custom post type archive, custom taxonomy archive, date tag. So these are the variations of archive page. Now as you can see this archive page, so the WordPress will search for author, then the nice name.php, so for any specific type of author's page, and then if it doesn't find that, then it will go with the author ID, then it will fall back into the author.php, which is a generic for author, and then if it is also not found or it is not present into the theme, then it will fall back to the archive.php, and at the end it will fall back into the index.php. Now similar things for the category as well, so it will search for category slack.php, then id, then if those things are not present, then it will go for the category.php, and if you have the only one design, then it will just go into the archive.php as well. So as you can see, if we use that archive.php as we have used in our theme, we have just used archive.php. That means we are going to use the same page for everything, like author, category, custom archive, or any other taxonomies. So for any archive page, we're gonna use only archive.php. But if you want to, I mean, if you want to do any custom design for any category wise, then you can obviously do like category.php and make the archive.php separate. So for the category it will only work or it will only focus onto the category.php. Alright, so let's go back into the code editor and let's start implementing the archive.php. Let's open php tag. So this is the template for displaying the archive pages. Let's call the get header and get footer, and here let's add some DOM. Now let's open the php tag and check whether if is there any posts or not. So we can check in if condition, if have posts, like this, then we can end if the condition. So if we have any post, then we actually can show the archive titles and the description that WordPress provides. So let's add a DOM here with a class archive page header, and inside that let's open a PHP tag and close it. So the function to show the archive title is the archive title. Now it will take before and after parameters, so let's pass that. We can say here archive title, let's close that, and here we can close the h1 tag. Now for the archive description, we have a function archive description, and it will also take the same. So let's pass a div with class and archive description, and let's end this with the closing div tag. Alright, so the page header is complete. Now let's move for the main loop. So let's open another PHP tag here and let's close it down. We can say start the loop, not the start but start the loop. So we can use the while. So while have posts, then we can run the main post, and obviously we can end while. Right, so inside that we are gonna pass the get template part as before. So here we'll say template parts and then page and then content, and here not the page but the post. All right, now let's go back into the backend and check what we have achieved so far. So currently we are into the post category, so I already added these categories, and you can see in under the food category we have 6 posts. So if we click on this view, it should take us to the archive page world. So sure enough, you can see the archive page has some data here, and we can see this category food. So this is basically coming from this archive title, and I think this doesn't have any description. So if we go here, update it, we should see the description as well. So you can see the description is showing here as well. So if we keep the description, it will come, and we can see that categorized posts are coming. So currently it has 6 posts, so that's why there's 6 posts, and this data is obviously coming from the template parts post content that we have created before. So this is the content page. So where we have this, if it is a singular page, then we're gonna see with h1, but because it's not singular page, we're seeing with h2 and with an anchor link. So there is a post thumbnail image, and we are seeing the post excerpt because we are into the archive page. All right, now you might wonder where is the pagination, because we sometimes we need the pagination, not the sometimes but most of the time, if category has more than 10 posts. So WordPress basically has by default value is 10. Let's put it 2 so we can view the pagination. So right now it is showing us only 2 posts. So how we can navigate through the others? Well, we need to add some code for achieving that. So after the while, we can say, or we can add a pagination. So we can say echo paginate links, and it will take an array. So inside that array we need to pass priv text, and we can say html priv. It's actually optional, but you can add it, so it will show the previous and next text. Right, let's duplicate this and it should be next. And all right, so now if we go back and hit refresh, so we are seeing this pagination link. So if we click on 2, so it will navigate through those pages, and you can see now previous and next previous and next text that we have provided. So that means if we just keep this blank, so it will show its default with arrow and previous and next text. So you can modify it with this too, by passing this optional array and modifying those parameters. Now there is one more thing I want to show you. Let's go back into the backend, and you can see I just added a category which is called test, and it doesn't have any post count. Now if I go back and view it, what happens now? So it's showing actually nothing. That means if any category doesn't have anything, so what you will do you show it just this kind of a blank page? Obviously not. So for that we actually need to do something. So if this is the if condition, we can add an else here, and inside this let's add an h1, or you can say nothing found. So sure enough it will show this nothing found, but still it's not pretty thing to do. So what we can do here, we can organize it with some other templates. So let's do that. So we can use this get template part. Okay, I think let's remove this, and we actually can add else here and get template part, and we can share a template URL here. Let's copy this, and we're gonna change. So obviously we do not create that part or that template yet, so we will go to template parts page and then content none. So whenever WordPress category or archive doesn't have any value, it will fall back from this archive page into page/content none. So let's just create that. So we can say content none.php, and let's print some text here and check or verify whether the data is coming from. Yeah, so you can see the data is coming from this content none. So into the next we will implement this content none.php. All right, so let's implement this content none.php. Now this content none.php is actually important, because in many ways you can reach into such condition that there is no content, like there can be no category posts, so you need to show that content none. There can be some not found search results, or maybe not found page. So for all of this you can actually use this content none.php. Now let's see what I have added already here. So so this is the normal DOM that you want to add. Now at the top I added this nothing found heading, because this whenever you come to this page, so you obviously there's nothing, that's why you are coming into this page. Now at the first condition we are checking whether is it home, and if the user has the ability to publish posts. So we can check with this current user can publish posts. So if if he has this ability, then we are gonna printing out this. Now this condition will rarely happen. It will only happen when there is no more posts, or I mean there's 0 post and you are into the index page or the home page, then this should print, and it will take you in a link that is post new.php, from where you can create a new post. Now if you are coming from the search, meaning you are searching something and you are not able to your system is not able to find any search result, then it will show you this, sorry but nothing matched, and then you are gonna show this get search from. Now this get search form is actually a form from where you can start searching. So we will see this implementation when we start working with the search into the next episode. Now let us focus on else condition. So whenever we are not into the home or into the search, then this portion should occur. So that means it is true for the archive page as well. So let's go into our blank page or blank archive page and hit refresh, and sure enough you are seeing this. It seems we cannot find what you are looking for. Perhaps searching can help, and we are giving this search from where which is coming from this get search from function. So this portion is actually executing for our archive page. Now obviously this is also not looking pretty because we are not adding any design for this yet, and we are not started implementing our main design. But the main thing is we actually created this content-none.php function logical, so that we can use or get the advantage of this file throughout our theme. Now into the next episode we are going to implement search.php. Alright, so let's implement search.php. So it's totally blank now. So if you look into our themes, there is actually no search from we have attached. Only we can see the search from into the last episode from this nothing not found archive page. So if we try to search from here, you can see it's giving a search result. So the search URL is something like that, with this string parameter, query string, and then the value. So this is actually blank, and if we type something here we should see the output. So that means the search.php is working. Now because we wanted to implement this search.php, keep remember we actually creating the bare bone of our theme, so we are not implementing the design. This is only because this series is totally focused for the beginners, so that's why I wanted to show them that how this WordPress actually works. So let's just delete it, and let's do one thing. In the index page, let's call the get search form. So in that way we will have at least the access to work with that search form. So this is the search form. Now if we try to write lorem, obviously it's give me the blank page now. So because we have the search form, we can get started with working with the search.php. So for search.php, what we can do, we can actually copy this archive page and just modify some portion so that it will be good enough for us to implement the search.php. So for this comment should be changed. All right, so the other things, for the other things we do not need this part, because this will not the archive page, so we can remove this, and also we actually can remove these conditions, and like so. Now for this get template part, we're going to change it. We will create another one, so it will be content search. So template parts page content dash search, and this pagination would be same, because we're gonna need the pagination if there is more than 10 results or whatever the option you are setting for that. And if there is nothing, then obviously we are going to get the advantage of of our previous episode, by creating that content none page, we can implement it into the search.php as well. Now let's quickly create that page into under the page folder. So it's content search.php. so this is the file that we're gonna use. So let's put some string. Okay, and let's check it out whether the data is coming or not. So you can see this content search is coming because we have inside in a loop, that's why it's printed couple of times, and also we have this pagination query as well. Let's open the php tag and add the comment. All right, now let's populate this page with some code that I have just copied. So let me explain to you what this content search will do. So this is the article, and with the current post ID of that article, and we have this entry header with the title that we are printing with the h2 and the anchor tag, and the anchor tag would be that the link of that particular post. And then we are showing this the excerpt, that means the portion of that total content. And after that we are going to show a read more link with that post's permalink. So that's why we're using this print with this anchor tag, and inside that this is the placeholder, and this is the read more text. So inside this placeholder we are using this CSS URL with the get the permalink method. Now let's go back, and this is the search page with the search lorem. So you can see this is the resulting page of our search. Now it's just showing 2 and showing the pagination, because remember in the previous episode we have set this to 2. Now we can move into the default 10. Now if we go, so you can see there is the title, the excerpt, and the read more. So it will take into that particular content. So after the 10 post, if there is any more posts or any more results, then this is our pagination as well. Now I want to show you another thing which is we have implemented into the previous episode. That is, if we have typed something that is not able to our system is not able to find, then you can see it is going back to that content none page, and this time it's saying sorry, but nothing matched with your search terms. That means if we go into the content none, it's actually implementing this else if portion when we are into the is search page. So there you have your search page ready. Now into the next episode we will be focusing of creating 404.php. Alright, so let's implement this 404.php, but before that let's understand what is actually 404.php does. So if we go to our backend or the front end, and if we try to write some random things after the URL, and if I hit enter, that means if it is not available, then that 404 page should be visible. So if I write something here and hit refresh, so you will see that this is returning something from the 404.php. so whenever this system is not able to find any particular URL, meaning any page that is not existing to our system, then it will implement 404.php. all right, now let's go back into the editor and put some code to save some time. So this is a very straightforward code. I just need to explain to you. So as usual, we are adding this hooks, get header and get footer, and in between have some DOMs ready. So this is very straightforward. Whenever we go to this 404.php, we're going to print a title that the page doesn't found or cannot be found, and there is also some content that is very self-explanatory, and then finally we have this get search form. So now if I go into this page and try to refresh, and so this will show this content and also the search form, so the user can do some searching from this 404 page as well. All right, so let's add some comments adding abilities into our theme. So right now if we go into our in a single post, we'll see this, there is nothing after the content. So this is just the sidebar that should be besides when we design, when we implement the design, but there is no any options to add the comments. Although if we go back and go to the general, then is it in the general? Okay, so sorry, we need to go to this discussion, and if you go there, and you can see that anyone can actually add the comment, but right now we have nothing because we have this comments.php totally empty. So let's implement that. All right, so let's open the php tag here and add the comments. All right, so at first what we need to do here, we need to check if this post is a password protected post. If it is, then we'll just return. So if it is post password required, then we'll just return. Let's close the php tag, and now let's add some DOM here. So the DOM would be with id of comments, and the class, let's add comments area. All right, so now at first what we'll do, we'll check if there is any comments available or not. So we can say if have comments, there is a function to check if there is any comments. Then let's just put it into a single line so it will be easier to understand, and let's do an end if. All right, so now we will do another, we will print the title of the comments. So we can say, or we can take h2 here with a class called comments title. Now here we will check something. So if the comment count is more than 1, we will do one thing, other than we'll do another thing. So comment count, and the comment count we can get from get comments number, and we do not need the id because we're in a loop. So if it is just 1 and the comment counts, all right, so then we'll printf the string with like esc html. This is an escaping function of html, just want the comment or the string only. So it will be printing like this, just the comment with 1 beside with a wrapping of first bracket. Now if it is not, then we will do another printf, and we're going to say esc html, and inside that the text will be with a placeholder. So we can say comments, and the placeholder is %1 which is the placeholder, then the text string, and then we will do that end file of comment count. So basically what we are doing, we are just getting the comment counts here, and if it is just 1, then we are just doing static string printing here, and if it is not, then we are just saying that okay, this is 2 comments, 3 comments, or 4 comments, exactly this. Next we'll do the comment pagination. So there is a function available in WordPress to do this, and the name is the comments navigation. And if there is more than default, if the comments is more than the default number assigned, then it should have some paginations here. Now the next thing is we will show the list of the comments that has been added into the post. So let's do some DOM imposting like with the class of comment list, and we are using order list here. And then let's open the PHP tag. Inside that we'll have the WP list comments function. Sorry, I think I misspelled it. WP list comments. So inside that it will take an array. So let's do that and close with the semicolon. Now the style, it will take the style, and we're giving the order list and the short ping to true. Like so. So it will give us that the comment list will automatically regenerate. Now if we go into our front end and reload the page, if there is any comment we should see that. So there's two comments I actually added behind the scene so that you can easily view the changes. So this is the comments, we can see the title and with the number of comments that we have added. So these are the UL list that we have added. So these two comments are showing. Now let's go back and do the finishing of this file. Let's open another PHP tag here. What I will do, add this pagination again at the bottom of the page. So at the top there will be pagination, and at the bottom the pagination will be showing as well. Now there is another thing we need to do, and that is if the comments are closed, then show this message. So we'll check if comments open or not with comments open method of WordPress. So if it is closed, then we will print our message, so printf a message, and the message will be with a p tag. You can say no comments, and closing the p tag with a placeholder that is $1 and let's do esc_html, and here we'll print that comments are closed with a text domain as well. So that's it. Now at the bottom, if you can see, there is no commenting from showing. So what we can do, let's extend this PHP tag and we can do show comments form. So the method is comment form like so, and we're not adding anything here yet. We'll do this later if we need. Now let's go and reload the page again, and now we should see our comment form, which is a basic with a no design added, to be honest, and with the default functionalities of WordPress. So let's do this is a this is the third comment, and hit post comment, and sure enough we can see the third comment has been added there as well. Alright guys, so it's time to add some code in functions.php. So let's open the PHP tag, add some comment. Now let's start with the function that is the main thing for this file, and it is HeroBeach setup function. So let's at first check whether this function is exist or not. So function exists, and let's do HeroBeach setup, and then if it is doesn't exist, then we are going to add this function. So let's do that function Here is setup, like so. And for that we are going to add this function into a hook or action, that is after setup theme, and then we are gonna hook this function like so. Now let's add some comment at the top of this function. I've just copied the comment so it can be helpful to the user. So here it says set up the theme defaults and the register support for various WordPress features, and note that this function is hooked into the after setup theme hook, which runs before the init hook, and the init hook is too late for some features such as indicating supports for post thumbnail. So as it is clearly stated that we are not waiting for the init hook, we are adding after these things after theme setup for some things to work before the init hook. So let's do that. And now after that we're going to add the load theme text domain function. Let's just copy and paste that I have taken from my previous code. So let's just explain to you. So we do need a folder. Let's create that. Let's create this languages folder. All right, so inside that languages folder there will be a pot file, that is .pot, which will have all the translated text for your theme. So that is actually the text domain file for your WordPress theme. So obviously it's not available in our theme, and I will show you in the later part of our theme that how we can create this. There's a couple of ways to do that, so I will definitely explain to you about that. So for now let's just bear it that we have this function added into our functions.php. all right, now next we're gonna add this one. So this is the add theme support function. Now with this function we can tell the WordPress theme that what supports we are gonna take from the WordPress automatically. So this is a support that we are gonna enabling, that is automatic feed links, which is important for the RSS feed links for posts and comments. Now the next thing we're going to add is this one. So this is the title tag. So what this will do is, as it is stated into the comment, this will add this title tag into our header.php. Now for okay, we need a semicolon here. Now if we go into our header.php and see, we do not have any title tag like this one. So we are not using this kind of a title tag and adding anything with that. So we will let this to be handled by the WordPress itself. That's why we haven't done that. Just we need to keep or enabling the support of title tag. Now the next thing we're going to add is the ability to add the post thumbnail. Now if we go back into our admin area and go to any post edit screen, we will see that there is no option for us to add any feature image. So now what we need to do is to go back and add some code here. So that is this add theme support, and this time we are enabling the post thumbnails. Now if we save and go back and hit a refresh of an edit screen of any posts, so we will be able to see this featured image. So this image is already added into this post, so that's why we can see this image has been attached into this featured image section. So let's go back. Now the next thing we're going to add is this one, which is the support of custom background, and let's just rename this. So this one basically a way of adding a custom filter. That's an advanced topic, but let's just for now think about that. We have enabled the support of adding custom backgrounds, and default color we are giving it is as the white, so you can add whatever you want to do, and the default image is now blank because you do not want to have that. Now let me show you what it does actually before enabling that. Let's just commenting it out and go into the backend and go to the customize, and if I see, there is just 4 options. Now if I enable this and hit a refresh, you will see another options which is colors. Now this is into the customizer, so if I go there, and you will see an option of background color, and if I change it to red, see the background has been changed by this WordPress automatically. And if I click on default, so it will set into the default color again. So this is a feature that WordPress gives us, so we should add this into our customizer, as I mean into our functions.php, so our themes also support and it becomes native to the WordPress setup. Now the next thing we're going to add is some HTML5 content support or tag support, so that WordPress can give these things us straight away. And next we're going to add this one, so this will allow us to do the refresh of the widgets when we save those things. And next thing we're going to add is to add give the ability of adding the custom logo, that means the main logo or the header logo of the theme. So this way we can say that add theme support custom logo, and we're gonna pass an array. So let's do one thing here, do things like this. So we're giving height, width, flex width and flex height. Now before enabling again, let's show you what's the difference between this and not adding this. So if I go into the customizer and hit a refresh, and you can see the first tab is site identity. So if we go there, we'll only see 3 options: site title, tagline and the site icon, which will be the fave icon. Now after enabling this, we will have an extra option to add the background or logo image. So now if I go back and hit this refresh, and you will see this is the logo option. So here we can add your logo as well. So currently if I add this logo from here, let's just make it bigger, crop the image. So you will not see that image has been added into the theme, because we do need to add some functionalities in order to work that. But surely you can see that we have an option that is logo, and we can also publish, and this will be saved into our settings as well. So in future we will be able to get the benefit of using the logo from here as well. Next we're gonna add this one, which is the custom page header support. So again, this custom header is also the add theme support functionalities. So let's show you what it will do. So right now you can see there is one option less. Now let's add the custom header functionalities. So it will allow us to add a custom header at the page header. And let me show you what's the difference. So if we go into the back end and hit a refresh, so you will see this header image tab is coming, and if you click on that, you can actually add the image from here. So it was previously set, we can delete it, and let's add another one like this one. So we can skip cropping, and you can see the image has been added. Obviously, as before, it will also not work. We will show how it can be implemented into our theme, but as it is a default expectation from any WordPress theme to add those things, so that it comes up into the customizer. So we are doing it, and we'll be implementing those things later part. Up next, we're gonna add one interesting feature that is called post formats. Now this is default. This is not default. So WordPress has some default post formats. This is aside, gallery, link, image, code, video and audio. So these are the post formats that you can have with the WordPress by default. Now before adding, let me show you what is the actual impact of this. So if I go in posts, and at the edit screen, if you can see, now there is no options here as a post format for you. So you will only have just the default layout. So now if I go back and enable this, so and then go back and hit a refresh. So as you can see, this is the post format options coming for you, and this is the standard which is by default, and other than that whatever we have mentioned there, those things are showing. So I will show you again, this is not implemented, so I will do it at the later, because without showing you it's not meaningful to implement those things straight away. So that's why I left those things options blank to show you. Now we will implement those things as we go off after this functions.php. Okay, so that's done. Now at the next I'm going to implement this part of code, which is actually will also trigger when the after setup theme action or hook will be triggered. So this is here is content width, where we are just mentioning or defining that our max width will be uh, 100 1170, which is actually the bootstrap maximum width. So because we're gonna use the bootstrap templating after this basic theme setup, that's why I mentioned or I added this value here, so it will have this value assigned to the WordPress. Up next, what we can do, we can add the menu options here. Let's add the text domain. So let me comment it out again and to show you what is the impact. Now if I go into our backend, and if you hover over the appearance, you will not see the options are as a menu. So that should be the default behavior of any WordPress theme. Now otherwise you cannot able to add the menu, right? So if we enable it, so this is the registered nav menu function, and inside it will take an array. So this is the your what I can say, the name or the ID or the key of your uh, menu. So at first we have created this primary menu, and this is the label of the primary menu, and this is obviously the text domain. So whenever we add these functions, and at least we have one menu location, then if we go back and hit a refresh, and if you hover over, you will see the menu options is there. So if you go there, then you will have the ability to add the menu. So let's add the main menu. Now we can click on this create menu, and these are already assigned. So we can, if you just click on this create menu, so you will see that the menu has been created, and you will have these options to add that, as we have stated that this is our primary menu. So if we check on this and save this, so this menu will be available for us wherever we use this primary menu as a menu location. And to show you, obviously we can add another, let's add footer, and let's add html. Just copy this, and we can say footer menu, and rubies. So what this will do, this will allow us another location. So if I hit refresh, you will see there is another option. So you can assign a menu into multiple positions, or you can create another new menu for the footer, like as I'm going to create it. So let's say footer menu, and assign it with the footer, and let's create the menu first. So the footer menu is created. Now you can assign any page. Let's do the same pages, add to menu, and you can see the menu has been added with these links. So and we have now this two menus has been added. So main menu is assigned to the primary location, and footer menu is assigned to the footer menu location. So obviously we can take the use of these menus into our theme anywhere we want, or according to the design. Next we're gonna initialize some widgets area for the WordPress theme. So let's add some code here. Let me explain to you what is the code doing here. So this is the hero beach sidebar widget in it. So we are adding these functions into this widgets init hook, and this is the register sidebar function, which is the default from WordPress. And here we can see there's a bunch of things we are adding: the name of the sidebar, the ID, the description, before widget DOM. So this is the before widget DOM, and this is the after widget, obviously the closing of that section, and the before title and the after title as well. Now if I go into backend, and you can see in our appearance there is no menu for the widgets. So now if I refresh the page, I should see an widget option. As you can see, now if I go to that place, then this will be added. Now this is a different if you go along with the WordPress 5 version, so they are now adding there's the ability to add the Gutenberg blocks, pre-built Gutenberg blocks as well. So that's why the layout is different from the older times of WordPress. But you can see this is the sidebar that we have added the title in our code. So this is the sidebar, and right now we have a place to add those things into this area. So now if we go back here and just grab this, or let me just try to add this. So we can add this from this sidebar area. So we can say the recent comment, I guess, and as you can see, this widget, this older widget, has been added into our sidebar as well. Now from this plus icon we can also add any other widgets, like if we want to add the categories. So this has been added, and this is basically the Gutenberg blocks that has the ability to add into the sidebar as well with the new WordPress features now. So this is the sidebar that we are enabling. Now let's go back into the editor. This time we will add two more functions. So the first one is the HeroBiz public scripts, which is actually hooking with the WP and QA scripts, and here we'll be adding all the styles and the scripts that's going to work into the front end of the WordPress theme. Now if you want to add some functionalities with the style and scripts into the back end, then we are going to use this admin and QA scripts hooks and enabling this function with these hooks. Obviously these functions are pretty much blank, as you can see, and we will implement those things into the later part of our tutorial. So basically this is it for now for this functions.php, and this is pretty much basic for you. So as the tutorial progresses and as the theme progresses, we will add definitely some more features in it. Whatever we will add those things as per our requirements. So yeah, that's it, functions.php. Let's do some improvement with sidebar.php. Now let's open the tag. Now if I go back into the backend and show you the widgets area, so this was the widget area that we have created with the functions.php, if you can remember. So this is the default sidebar that we created so far, and it has the ID of default sidebar, which we are going to use. Now already we added these two legacy widgets, that is from the older version of the widgets of WordPress. Now as we know that I have showed earlier as well, that we can also add some new Gutenberg blocks that has the new feature of WordPress. So let's what we can add, let's add this latest post. So this has been added into the sidebar. So when we use this sidebar, we should see this content in action. So let's update this. Now if I go back and go to the sidebar, so what we actually need to do here is to use a function that WordPress provides. But at first let's add a DOM with sidebar. So inside that we are gonna use dynamic sidebar. And it will take an ID that we have created in functions.php, that is default sidebar. So whatever or whichever widget you want to show in a particular place, you need to use this ID inside of this dynamic sidebar function as a parameter. So now we should see those things in action. Now let's go into our front end and check how it is looking now. So this is the index page. So if I go to any post, like let's go to this one, and if we scroll at the bottom, sure enough we can see these are these contents that are coming from the sidebar. So if we inspect these, and you will see this div sidebar, and inside that these things has been added by the WordPress. So we are using these 3 widgets. So 2 are actually the default widgets, or you can see the legacy widgets of WordPress, and the last one is actually a block. So that's why it has a widget block class. So this is the new feature of WordPress, and you can use it as you want. So I guess this is good enough example for us for now about this sidebar.php. In later part we'll obviously improve this sidebar.php as well, but for the basic themes this is enough for us to understand. Alright, so in this episode let's do some miscellaneous improvement of our codes. Like if in index.php we have just added this bare bone of code, so let's just do some improvement or try to match up with the other templates. So I open this archive.php and let's just copy this part of DOM and add it here and copy this out or cut this out and open a PHP tag and paste it down here. I think this should be at the top, and for the footer let's open another PHP tag and paste it down here, and we do not need this get search form, and I think this is good enough. Now also if I go there we do have this pagination, so let's just copy this out because in index page we will also need that pagination, right? And let's implement this else condition as well. So this is the else condition, and we have this end if what else. Also if we want, actually we should, let's add the sidebar as well. So to do that we need to use this get sidebar, and let's put this into our archive as well because we also want to show the sidebar into that page. And let's check that out. Right, so this is the main index page. Now if we hit refresh, so search form is gone. These are the posts, and we can see the paginations in action as well, and also the sidebar is showing. So yeah, in terms of functionalities those things are working fine. Now there is no way. Okay, let's go back and open these categories. Okay, so let's open this food category to see the archive page as well. So these are the posts, and these are the widget part obviously, and because we have just 6 posts that's why there is no pagination showing, but if it is more than 10 then sure enough it will show those paginations as well. Now also let's do some structural improvement. I want to add one folder which is called assets, and sorry it's a misspelling, assets, and inside that I want to have some more folders like CSS and also JS, might be images, but let's add it later if we need. Now in the CSS let's add default.css for now, and for JS let's add like main.js, and for the CSS let's also add main.css. Also another important thing, so because we added these files, let's put it into the functions.php and enqueue those files as well. Now because this default main and main.js, these are actually the public scripts, so we're going to use this function to hook it up with this wp enq scripts. So at first let's do the styles, and for that we actually have a function which is called wp enq style, and it will take bunch of parameters. The first one is the handle. So handle means actually the unique id of for that particular thing. So let's say main, and then we do need to add the source. So for that we're going to use this get template directory URI. So get template directory URI, and then we also need to match up with the directory. So it is inside the assets, and then we have this css and then main.css. so this get template directory URI actually it will give you the root path of that particular theme, and then we need to navigate through our custom folders. Now the depths, we will not define the depths, we will keep this thing as a blank array. And for the version, let's do wp rand, so every time it will give us a random string, then it will not be cached. And for the media, let's say also for the all media. So now this is done for the main. Now let's just duplicate the line and done the same for the default as well. So everything will be same, just change the name. All right, now for the scripts, we do have the same kind of a function wp enq scripts. So it will also take the id. So because it's a js file, so we can say main as well. So now what this will generate, this will generate something like main-js dot main-js, so this kind of a thing. And for this it will generate main-css. So these will be the id. Now for the source, same thing, get template directory URI, and then we're going to go to the assets and then js and then main.js. And for the dependency, for this time we will have the dependency of jQuery because we might need that. So this will fetch the jQuery library from the WordPress, and let's remove those things or remove the version, and then we can do wp rand as before. And this is for in footer, let's keep it true, so it will load into the footer, not into the header. All right, so these are added, but let's go into the front end and let hit refresh and go to the page source. Now search for the main.js. So sure enough, you can see this is the main.js, and you can see the id is main.js. Now let's search for main.css. You can see the main.css with a randomized version, and its id is main.css, and you can see at the top this default.css as well. So we can say those scripts has been loaded successfully. Now before ending this video, let's learn about the WordPress post formatting. So in functions.php episode, we showed you that we have enabled this theme support, which is post formats, and these are the available post formats from the WordPress. Now if I go in any post and go into the edit screen of it, so you will see that there's a post format at the right side of your screen, and there is a standard which is the default value of that. Now there is available options as well. So what it does actually, if you can select any of these options, like if you select image, so and save it. Now let's check one thing. Open our what we can say, let's open this single.php and echo get post format, which is a function of WordPress which will tell you the which format of this post is. So if I go and let's view the post like this one, so if I refresh, you can see at the top it is saying image. That means the post type of this file or the post is content image. Now what does it mean actually? So that means that you actually have the ability to use the different file format or the post formatting file matching up with your theme. Meaning, see, in single.php what we are using this template part post content. So we are using this content.php to generate the single post content. Now because it does have this format attached, so that means what we can do here, it actually expecting something like this, content image.php. Now if I do some string printing here, let's say hi there, so now you might think that okay, that means that we are gonna see that template. But if we hit refresh, so this is a single page, but you are not seeing that. Why is that? Because we also need to do something in single.php where we are getting this template. So if I pass this get post format, now if I go back, and because this is image, it is already saved, or let's reshow. Now let's update it again. So you can see this post format has image attached, so it is the content image, it expecting content image. Now if I hit a refresh here, you will see hi there. So that means right now it's not implementing this content.php, but the content is coming from content-image.php. so what does it mean actually? So that does mean that if you save or if you choose the post format like gallery, link, code, and whatever it is, so and you save it, then it will expect something content dash that post format name, and if you have that file available, only then it will take the content from that file. But now if I change it from image to let's say video and hit update, right, and I hit refresh, see it's saying that it is video, but the problem is you do not have that content-video.php file. That's why it is defaultly fallbacking to content.php. Now with that we can also update some other files as well, because let's put it back to image and hit update. Now if I come here and hit a refresh, so you can see in the index that should be reflected as well, because this post should come from content-image as well, but it's not coming. That is because if I go to the index, we are not using that get post format function. So let's use that. And also if I go to the archive, yeah, we can also do the same here, get post format. So in that way we can take the advantage of dynamic template fetching of WordPress. So now if we go back and hit a refresh in index, so you'll see hi there is coming. Now if it should be same for the archive page as well. Let's check that quickly. So if it is, so yeah, this is hi there as well. So that means our templating is actually working, or the get post format templating is also working. So for now we are not actually we do not have any different designs for different post formats. So for now let's should I remove it, or let's keep it like this for your help. But let's make it to the standard fallback. Now if I hit refresh, it should be come back to the original format that we are using. So with this, the chapter 1 of this tutorial series is ending. So my plan was to create the first video longer so that I can cover each and every topic or the basic topics for the WordPress theme, so that you can understand and get it together within one video. But from the next, I'm going to create smaller videos and covering up with the new design that I am going to implement, that I have shown you. I'm showing it again. So this is the blog that we are going to implement with this theme, and we'll cover each and every topic to cover up this design. Before ending this, if you find this video helpful to you, then please like this, share this channel if possible, and if you are not already subscribed to this channel, then please do give some support so that I can get some inspiration to create more videos like this. Thanks again and see you soon.